Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls New Game Plus Bosses. And today we're going to be taking on the Centipede Demon. This is certainly a boss I would recommend actually summoning help from. This is actually one of the fights. It's, well, not really mandatory, but it's very highly recommended since you need the orange charred ring. And since you only get the orange charred ring from this fight, it pretty much makes sense to summon somebody to help. But if you're stubborn like me, there's no doubt you can actually do this solo quite easily. The only difference is you're going to have to be a bit more patient in the beginning of the fight and be a little more aware of where you are in the arena at all times. To start the fight though, you're going to want to immediately go right. If you try and fight him there, which I've done before, the first time I played the game, it's quite painful, but still very doable, but trust me, going to the right here is a much better alternative. There's no way around it. Even if you summon somebody, if you go this way, you're still going to eat some damage, but you should have way more than enough time to actually heal up before he gets here. He likes to take his time coming over here. If you have a phantom, this is where they'd probably be out there hitting him already, getting him softened up for you. But since we're alone this time, we gotta just try and lure him over here in this big stretch of land. Quite obviously, all you really have to do is try and back yourself up against the wall, and he doesn't really have much of a choice. He has to come over here to hit you. And once he gets onto the outer part of the land, you want to go up close to him so he'll have to try and melee you. It's not keep reaching at you. I wouldn't recommend actually summoning Solar though. All he'll do is actually buff the enemy's health back up, and he'll probably get himself killed fighting out there on the lava while doing next to nil damage. Now when he jumps, you want to run away as far as possible. Generally, from what I've saw, he jumps straight up and straight back down. I don't know if that's always the case, but I've usually been able to evade that by moving and sprinting away. Once you've got yourself a little leg room, basically this boss is very slow, and you want to take his tail out, and you actually have to kill the tail, and this is how I think you get the ring. I'm not sure if you kill him you get the ring or not, but I always cut the tail off to make sure. Like so many other bosses, while this boss may be very dangerous, he's not the worst part of the fight. In my experiences, the worst part of this fight is the camera angles, because this boss is exceedingly large, and what you're fighting on is not really that big a piece of land. His back leg is usually his most vulnerable spot, but you gotta make sure you can get out of there once he jumps. So, big heavy weapon users, be aware that you can probably get more than one swing in, but you might have to sprint the heck out of danger before you just get landed on. It always sounds so easy when you say it, but basically all you gotta do is keep your camera on him and try not to get hit by the big, large, slow attacks. Very easily said, but if you mess up, you'll get hit. As you see there, I was a little late on running the heck out of dodge there. And this actually quite surprised me. I've never remembered him ever using a shockwave, and I played this game through, 10 times now, and that was the first time I think I've ever saw that move. So this actually quite surprised me. I didn't know what to do with that. But for my whole one attempt here of actually ever seeing this attack, from what I gather, he jumps up and then shoots it out in front of him. So what you want to do is keep your camera on him. It's even more important now. And try and stay behind him even when he's in midair. Of course, without the orange charred ring, it's a little easier said than done, but you can't really do anything to remedy that at this point unless you really want to take your chances and trying to quit that mid-fight, which generally not recommended to get your item menu right in the middle of a boss fight. But with the Phantom, this boss fight is exceedingly easy. I just don't recommend ever using Slayer, but if you don't have any other choices, you gotta use what you gotta use sometimes. And this was the Centipede Demon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I shall see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.